Residents of Johannesburg have been plagued by water shortages.
Several parts of Joburg and Randburg are hardest hit, with residents pleading for more water tankers.
Experts say that aging infrastructure as well as lack of maintenance are all a big part of this problem.
Some residents have been battling shortages to no water for months now.
Disgruntled residents are taking a stand, saying enough is enough.
The residents saying that for about 8 weeks at this point in time, they have not had water.
4 weeks now, nothing, not a single drop.
On the other hand, while the city of Joburg and Rand Water says there isn't any water, they're losing a lot of water as well.
Experts say as much as 60% of the water that is pumped into Johannesburg water is lost through a failing infrastructure.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
It's quite difficult. It's very difficult. It's taking us back to the village.
People are very desperate. They have to buy water to flush toilets.
It's unhygienic. It's not conducive to living standards.
It's a desperate situation, a struggle for a basic need.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Hello, South Africa. My name is Nazli Sharif, and today we are coming to you live from Tshwane, Gauteng. The water crisis is escalating at a rapid rate. Infrastructure is crumbling, and we have a problem with water within Gauteng. The people of Gauteng have had enough. We have water flowing down the streets, but we do not even have water in our taps. Rand Water is completely collapsing due to mismanagement, negligence and corruption by the ANC government. As residents of Johannesburg, we deserve better. The DA is on a mission to rescue South Africa from the neglect of the ANC government and a failing national government. This is why we are here today to march to the offices of the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mkhunu. For everybody at home, you must understand that Rand Water is in crisis and the Minister must act now. For everybody at home, please feel free to like and share this broadcast with all of your friends and your family. Please join the conversation online using the hashtag #PowerToTheRegistered and share your views and your thoughts down in the comment section below. But most importantly, share your stories of what it is like to live in a city that has no water. Leading this charge is the DA Gauteng Premier candidate, Salim Simanga, the DA's Gauteng Premier in waiting. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
In this election, only the registered have the power. If you're tired of load shedding, register to vote. If you're tired of corruption, register to vote. If you're tired of the rising cost of living, register to vote. And if you're tired of a government that's continuously working against you, register to vote. Go to check.da.org.za and let's give power to the registered.
Welcome back to the DA's march to the Minister of Water and Sanitation. With me now is the DA's incoming Premier of Gauteng, Salim Simanga. Welcome to the broadcast, Salim. Can you tell us, people have had enough. Why are we here today?
Well, thank you very much, Nestle. Chapter 2 of our Constitution guarantees people quality water, guarantees people, an ability to be able to be fed on an ongoing basis. This is one of the rights that is actually now being infringed, where we're seeing more and more people in Gauteng going without water. So Shanguve has had certain areas that have been without water for 6 months. You go to Fixburg, if you don't get water 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to have water for the rest of the day, the following day. There's been people, as I'm talking to you, Kempton Park, certain part of Kempton Park is sitting without water. You go to area like Inadale, you go to certain parts of Mogale and Kagiso, sitting without water. Let's say the Heidelberg, you have a whole municipality that is sitting without water. This is something that we are saying cannot continue to happen. We have been calling on Rainwater to tell us what is the plan. We've had engagements and meetings with Rainwater, but clearly, again, there's no plan. Like what they didn't have a plan when they were dealing with Eskom, we are now seeing this. Water is not one of those things that we can live without. We can do without electricity, but water is not one of those.
I couldn't agree with you more, Solly. Solly, tell us, what are we doing here today? What does the DA hope to achieve with this march?
Well, a number of things that we're hoping to achieve. One is that those fat cats that are sitting in the high offices, needs to be removed. We have been asking, why isn't the Highlands North project finished? 26 billion rand later, 6 years later, we're still not getting there. We've been saying, why is communication to municipalities a big problem when it comes to, water throttling and water shedding as they are now doing? Why have we been calling on the minister to engage with municipalities so that they can have a provincial infrastructure master plan relating to water and deal with that particular issue? And this is something that they have been failing to do. And this today, why we're saying, we're drawing the line here, we're saying to the minister, get rid of, the CEO, make sure that there is an infrastructure master plan that involves all the municipalities. Let's deal with this issue once and for all. If the minister is going to fail, we are now also saying the minister doesn't deserve to be in this position. He needs to also vacate this office. If we need to then engage the courts, if we need to engage the Human Rights Commission, we will do this, because this is an infringement of your basic human rights. And this is something, as I said earlier on, water is not one of those things that you can live without.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Solly. So what you're saying is that the DA will fight for the people of Gauteng. Come high waters. Funny. The DA will definitely fight for the people of Gauteng.
We will fight for the people of Gauteng. We have won a number of cases for the people of Gauteng, and I can tell you the recent case we won against Floyd Brink in the city of Johannesburg, a very, very big case, because we are saying we don't want people that are not going to be advancing the quality of life, for our residents. We have won our case against the ANC's, attempt to hide, the CADA deployment committee minutes, because we know that that's where majority of our problems started, with cadres being employed or deployed where they're not suited to. Look at how our SEOs have now all collapsed. And Rainwater is one of those that is also now going to be going that way if we're not going to be able to then ensure that this is stopped right here and right now. We cannot have another Eskom 2.0 in Gauteng, but this is where we're heading.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. Solly, for those that don't live in Gauteng, paint a picture for us. We see water flowing through the streets, but we don't even have water in our taps.
Well, that's the whole thing. We have infrastructure that is now dilapidated, that hasn't been maintained. We've had issues that Rainwater itself have been told 20 years ago. In Gauteng, you are going to experience growth that you are not going to be matched in terms of ensuring that you have the infrastructure, in terms of ensuring that you're able to also store enough water. And this is why we have been asking, why has the Lesotho Highlands project, 26 billion rand later, 6 years late, and we're still not getting to the end of it. Don't you see a pattern? We had Kusile and Midupi, which were years late and then had to cost almost 3 times what it would have otherwise cost. This is why we are saying, Nestle, we cannot have another situation like this. And this is why, as a DA, we are standing up here and we are saying we are marching to stop this thing from happening, and we're demanding answers from the minister. But the people of South Africa might not realize that we are heading into some serious crisis with water, not only in Gauteng, across the whole country. I have been to areas in Welkom, in Bloemfontein, where water is actually, only accessible if you have tankers that are coming in. And if you don't get tankers, then you're not gonna get water. I've been to places in KZN where the only source of water is through rivers or through streams, and people are subjected to drinking dirty water. But this is something that government has been quiet about. 30 years into democracy, surely that cannot be the way to go.
Solly, as you mentioned, water is not only a basic essential service, but it's a human right. Can you explain what water shedding is and why are we experiencing it?
Well, the fact of the matter is Rainwater hasn't been able to update and maintain its infrastructure. So its infrastructure now is not able to pump enough water to municipalities for municipalities to meet the demand on the other side. So what they end up doing is they end up throttling municipalities or giving municipalities less water than what the municipalities should be getting or demanding. And therefore you end up with a situation where, reservoirs run dry. And when reservoirs run dry, it means that residents are not able to then get water. But it gets worse. Because of load shedding as well, whenever there's load shedding, it means that the pumps cannot push water up, into high-lying areas. And this is why now you would have, your high-lying reservoirs not being able to then get water. This is why you would have people saying, but I only get water at night, because there's no pressure, to pump water into the reservoirs to fill up the reservoirs. And we have said to the Eskom CEO, to the Rainwater CEO, to Eskom CEO, we have said to all of them, can you then at least try to map up where the pumps are and, insulate your pump station from load shedding so that you don't have water shedding when you have electricity shedding. And this is something that has fallen on deaf ears, unfortunately.
The reality is that South Africans go through too much because of an incapable state. Solly, we are losing one critical service after the other. You spoke about SOEs collapsing. Is it all connected?
Well, all of them are connected. We have been saying, stop employing cadres, employ capable people, stop getting rid of people that have the skills to do the job in order to make space for cadres who are not able to then do the jobs. Stop the corruption. Because you have seen at Eskom, the billions that have gone and that continues to go towards corrupt activities is actually what is going to start happening now. When people are pushed into a desperate situation where we're saying, fix this thing by hook or crook. And in doing that, we now rush processes. We now get into a situation where, corruption actually then finds its way into, the workings of procurement or supply management processes. That is a problem. But over and above that, we have seen how we are not really planning long term, but we have always, put a bandage over a sore that we haven't really treated. We have been saying for a very, very long time, what is the infrastructure master plan? How are we going to then ensure that once and for all, we are able to replace some of the old asbestos pipes that needed to be replaced? I can tell you right now, the northern parts of Johannesburg are sitting with asbestos pipes that are more than 60 years old. Certain parts of Tshwane are sitting with infrastructure that needed to have been replaced 20 years ago. You're talking about increasing the capacity as well. As population has grown, this government has failed to plan to implement the increase or to accommodate the increase that is needed to be increased in terms of the population. We have asked Rainwater, when was the last time they even evaluated or re-evaluated their licenses to give water? This is 20 years down the line. You can imagine what has happened in Tshwane, what has happened in Ekurhuleni, what has happened in city of Johannesburg in terms of the population. But this hasn't been made by a government that is thinking, a government that is planning ahead, a government that is implementing, the changes that you would want to then see and to make sure that many people are accommodated as possible.
Yeah, absolutely, Solly. Is unseating the ANC a realistic goal in 2024?
It is a very much a realistic goal. Every sense is showing us that we are going to do it. You're looking at the polls, you're looking at the ground itself. Whenever we go, people are saying enough is enough. We cannot continue without jobs. We cannot continue without electricity. We cannot continue without water. We cannot continue with having a minister who's telling us that you as a woman, it's okay and you are very lucky to be raped only once. We cannot continue with a situation where if your child goes to school, you are praying that your child will return home safe. That bylaws are not actually implemented where we are able to then ensure that your children that get poisoned with expired food as spaza shops becomes a thing of the past. The people are now waking up to that. And it's up to us as the Democratic Alliance to register as many people as we possibly can to make sure that we turn them out on election day for them to make sure that they vote for a future that they can all be proud of.
there you have it, the incoming Premier of Gauteng telling you that in order to save Gauteng, in order to save and rescue South Africa, you must be registered to vote. Go to check.da.org.za so that we can help you. Don't go anywhere. We are still marching to the Minister's office. We'll be right back.
(1994) was a great moment in our country's history. We were united, we had hope. We all shared the same dream of one South Africa for all. That dream has been hijacked, corrupted and sold out by the power-hungry and corrupt. They divide us with anger and hate. Corruption is killing our country. Those who have betrayed the struggle are the ones in power who have made themselves rich while the poor go hungry. This is not what we were promised. More empty promises, more unemployment. For 25 years, we have waited. We are moving backwards. The choice before us is simple. Either we make a change and move forward, or our dream dies. Only you have the power to bring change.
Welcome back to the official broadcast of the march against the water crisis. We are marching to the Minister of Water and Sanitation to tell him that Gauteng residents have enough. We have had enough of the water shedding, and water is a basic human right, and it's a service that must be delivered. I am now joined by Kwena Moloto, the Tshwane spokesperson. Kwena, welcome to the broadcast. What exactly are we doing here today, and how do you feel being here?
No, look, it's great to be here, Naz. I'm sure you can see behind us that there are thousands of South Africans that are here with a mission to rescue SA. They know, just like we do, that this election is so important and it's our last chance to rescue South Africa. We see load shedding, and now amazingly we're starting to see water shedding inside the country. We have to say enough is enough, and so we're here to speak to the Minister, to hand over a memorandum and say that the CEO of Rand Water needs to resign for his failures, for years of failures. The people of South Africa need change. We need to rescue South Africa, and so we are here today.
Yeah, Kwena, people have become so used to not having water that it's normal. We've normalized it. This is unacceptable because water is a basic human right. What do you have to say about that?
No, look, the Constitution is very clear in Chapter 2 that water is a human right. Water is something that one needs to live. It's not just something that keeps people alive, but it also keeps an economy alive. And we're seeing a collapse of industries, losses of jobs, and it's a direct result of our failings and the failings of the ANC government to ensure that this critical resource is provided to the residents of South Africa and businesses in South Africa. And it's largely, due to the fact that there's been no forward planning. Already inside 2 decades ago, it was made clear by organizations such as the CSIR that we would run out of water if we didn't maintain and build on our critical infrastructure, but it's something that the ANC government has just simply failed to do. We're not in this crisis by accident. It's not a surprise to anyone that knows the water industry and knows our water infrastructure. This could have been avoided, but as with so many other SOEs, failed ANC government has led to their complete destruction and incapability.
Absolutely, Kwena. More and more people are now experiencing the failure of this ANC government. But not having water is a major problem for all of South Africa. Can you tell us a little bit about this? It's a new low.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely terrible. And And as I said, the reality is that this was known about for a very, very long time. And you see it, especially in our rural communities, for example. About 20% of people don't have access to water. Inside our rural clinics, where people are getting their basic needs, their healthcare needs met, 45% of them don't have water. It's absolutely shocking. The ANC government should be ashamed. The Minister of Water should be ashamed. And that's why we're saying that the CEO of Rand Water as well should be ashamed. There has to be a resignation. We need to see accountability. We need to start seeing accountability inside our SOEs. And we as the DA have been fighting in regards to load shedding, but we're here today to fight against water shedding.
The DA has fought against cadre deployment for the longest time. And when we speak about the failing services, we can directly link it to cadre deployment, right?
Definitely. You must remember that cadre deployment was a system created not to deploy the best people to do the job. It is a system that was created to extract resources from the state. ANC members being deployed in order to provide corrupt tenders, and that has really crippled the state. For example, in Gauteng, where we're starting to see water shedding, there was the Lesotho Highlands project that was supposed to be finished in 2019, which would have increased our capacity to provide water to the residents. But the reality is that it's a failed project, 8 years behind completion time, and this is because of irregular tenders that were awarded. And it's the people of South Africa that suffer about this. And on top of that, there's also a benefit for the ANC to have failed service delivery in regards to water, because they've created a water tank mafia. And we see it all over Gauteng. We see it inside the city of Tshwane, where water is not able to be provided. Irregular contracts and emergency contracts are given to ANC companies to provide this basic service, but at an exorbitant rate. The water is often contaminated, and it's just another means for the ANC to extract resources from the state at the expense of the South African people.
The DA is in government in the Western Cape, and we don't see any water shedding in the Western Cape. What do you think is the difference between a DA province and an ANC province?
No, it's very clear, is that it's good governance. Service delivery, the core of service delivery is good governance. We see inside the Western Cape consistent investment inside our critical infrastructure, including water and electricity. You saw during day zero in Cape Town that the municipality was able to avoid this through clear communication, but also through clear strategy. We weren't caught off guard as the DA. We had planned for this, and we ensured that day zero never happened. This wasn't the case in Joburg in 2019. There were some houses that didn't have water for months. We see it inside Shoshanguve here, inside Tshwane. There are certain areas that for 6 months haven't received water. As we speak now, it's absolutely disgusting, but it's where you see the difference between a DA government and an ANC government. With a DA, you get good service delivery and you get accountable government, and it makes a massive, massive difference. And the two are very easily comparable. We're lucky that we have the Western Cape to show South Africans what good governance looks like. You'll know there was a recent poll or stats that were released by Stats SA to say that this year 300,000 jobs were created inside the DA-run Western Cape. This represents over 90% of jobs created, and so where the DA governs, we get things done, and that's why we're here today. We're on our mission to rescue South Africa. It can't just be in the Western Cape. We want to be everywhere.
Before I let you go, what can South Africans at home do to join the rescue mission with the DA?
No, look, we've said it many times. We need you to visit check.da.org.za, get registered to vote. There's a registration weekend coming up this weekend on the 18th and 19th. If you're not going to go and do it online, which is very easy, go to your voting station, register. It takes a few minutes. All you need is your valid green ID book, and it's very simple. But we need all South Africans to get on board. It can't just be that you're just registering. Also, make sure your friends are registered. Make sure your family is registered. And as we've said, if your partner is not registered to vote, they do not care about you because they do not care about the future of their country. Show them the door. Show them the door.
Show them the door. Thank you very much, Kwena. There you have it, South Africa. Make sure you are registered to vote. Go to vote.da.org.za. And like Kwena mentioned, we have a registration weekend happening this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you grab your ID. You can check your registration status or you can re-register. We'll be back with some incredible speeches that outlines the solutions, but also holds the government accountable for the failures that they have been making. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
1994 was a great moment in our country's history. We were united, we had hope. We all shared the same dream of one South Africa for all. That dream has been hijacked, corrupted and sold out by the power-hungry and corrupt. They divide us with anger and hate. Corruption is killing our country. Those who have betrayed the struggle are the ones in power who have made themselves rich while the poor go hungry. This is not what we were promised. More empty promises, more unemployment. For 25 years, we have waited. We are moving backwards. The choice before us is simple. Either we make a change and move forward, or our dream dies. Only you have the power to bring change.
Ayaya South Africa, ayaya South Africa, Hoza 2024, Hoza 2024, Pata Solim Simanga Pata, Pata Solim Simanga Pata, Puma Panya Panya Puma, Puma Panya Panya Puma. Amanda! 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 Awatu! Awatu! Pambele South Africa, Pambele! Pante, Yansi Pante! Mawahamba, Masala Mawahamba. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Esse Zuilema. Hey, man, South Africa, these people are killing our country, man. These people are messing up our country, man. These people are like other people that we won't call them by the names, but they are the ones who are destroying our country. And now it's time up for them. As the Democratic Alliance, we are saying, Futag ANC, Futag! Futag ANC, Futag! My boy is South Africa, my boy! My boy is South Africa, my boy!
Residents of Johannesburg have been plagued by water shortages.
Several parts of Joburg and Randburg are hardest hit, with residents pleading for more water tankers.
Experts say that aging infrastructure as well as lack of maintenance are all a big part of this problem.
Some residents have been battling shortages to no water for months now.
Disgruntled residents are taking a stand, saying enough is enough.
The residents saying that for about 8 weeks at this point in time, they have not had water.
4 weeks now, nothing, not a single drop.
On the other hand, while the city of Joburg and Rand Water says there isn't any water, they're losing a lot of water as well.
Experts say as much as 60% of the water that is pumped into Johannesburg water is lost through a failing infrastructure.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
It's quite difficult. It's very difficult. He's taking us back to the village.
People are very desperate. They have to buy water to flush toilets.
It's unhygienic. It's not conducive to living standards.
It's a desperate situation, a struggle for a basic need.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
High discipline, high moral, high discipline, high moral. The vendor said you are ready, how much are you? How nice is that? But how much are you? Yo! You so far you are far away. So much are you, but not peaceful. But not now very fairy. We remain disciplined. Joloka leader chu like your managers. We remain disciplined. Selector, Ashapek Tabaratan. Diega Rata Mazita. The right! The right! I'm here to select. Please, let me try. To now come in. You don't have a chance to talk on another book? I'm not selling your book. Moment of silence. Moment of silence. Moment of silence.
We just want you guys to position behind here as a semicircle. Setting up the back row. One, two, three, four, five. That's it. That's it.
How are you? I'm here. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Just count me down. I'm here. Count me down. Yes.
We were denied access. In fact, as we were there, we were met with bodyguards. Your councillors, the ANC councillors, DA councillors control wards. They don't have bodyguards. The CEO, the COO of Rainwater have bodyguards to stand in front of me and say I cannot go into a particular space. Yet your councillors, my councillors, have their houses burned down, have their houses vandalized because residents are sitting frustrated by the lack of water. There are people who are saying the health has deteriorated because there's no water. Now, I'm not in any way excluding the problem of municipal infrastructure into this, and this is why we're coming to you, to then say there's a number of things that we want you to start doing. One is that you need to have change at Rainwater. Water, you and me must agree. that electricity is one thing that we can live without, but water is not one of those things that we cannot live without. The fact that you've had ESCOM that has been problematic for 20 years and a blind eye has been turned on that is what makes us to say we cannot allow a situation when rainwater becomes another ESCOM, where we are sitting again, where we will be now having water shading, because that is what is actually being implemented in certain parts of Gauteng. As we speak, there's water shading where we are told this area will be switched off, that area will be switched on, that area will be switched on, this area will be switched off. Why? Because the infrastructure has been allowed to dilapidate, both on the rainwater side and on the municipal side. And that's why I said to you, I'm not going to exclude the municipalities from this. The second part is that we are saying we need to make sure that there's infrastructure master plan that gets to be implemented, not just on paper. We've heard of all these plans time and time again in these big offices where we are told there's a plan. We pay millions of rent for plans to be developed, but never gets to be implemented anywhere. So we are saying we want to know what is the infrastructure master plan. Failing that, we are going to be forced to then approach the courts to then say that chapter 2 that speaks about the quality of water and provision of food that our residents are supposed to be enjoying is actually then being infringed on. So this is something that we want to then bring to your attention. So our memorandum, and I'll read it and then I'll hand over. It says, Minister Mtuli. No, you can respond afterwards when you've received my memorandum as well. I'm writing this memorandum on behalf of the undersigned citizens of Gauteng who have expressed deep concern and dissatisfaction regarding the ongoing issues with rainwater. Gauteng has been plowed with deeply entrenched water issues for years, this not being due to the lack of water, but rather due to the lack of planning. Planning failures with rainwater are rife. They range from not having sufficient water supply for a growing population to infrastructure projects going unfinished or worse yet, unused. The question then becomes, how is this possible? We would like to receive answers to the following questions within 14 days of overhanding this memorandum. 1, the residents in the economic heartland of the country go without water for electricity, and why is that? Reservoirs under rainwater's charge run dry. Why is that? Municipalities are unable to plan because rainwater does not provide them with telemetric data. Why is that? Rainwater CEO and his executive get to drive or to be driven around in VIP protection, while the residents and those that are at the forefront of responding to the residents go without the same protection. Is this fair? We have suggested that we have suggestions that will make planning for the future and planning to address the very real issue faced by Gauteng residents a reality. They are listed below, and we trust that you will ensure that they are not only given real consideration, but that are acted upon. As the residents of Gauteng do deserve better, and we believe that you are here to respond to that. We demand the following: an urgent intervention at rainwater. The persistent issues with rainwater, namely the struggle to fulfill its mandate and provide an adequate water supply to residents, has raised serious concerns as to the organization's capability, or rather lack thereof. The continuous challenge related to water supply, service delivery and management inefficiencies demand urgent and decisive decision. We demand immediate and transparent intervention to rectify the underlying problems plaguing the organization. This intervention should encompass a thorough assessment, restructuring of the executive, and the establishment of effective mechanism to ensure improved service delivery. 2, we are saying that there should be an addressing of the prolonged water supply disruptions in Gauteng. In parts of Gauteng, like Johannesburg South, in Mfuleni, residents are left without water for months on end. While it might be easy to argue that these are solely due to the municipal failures, the truth of the matter is that these communities should be fed from rainwater. We demand immediate measures to be taken to restore uninterrupted access to clean water and safe for all residents of Gauteng. It is imperative that you allocate the necessary resources, implement interim resolutions, and prioritize the resolution of these issues to alleviate the burden your government has placed on the people of Gauteng. These steps above might sound broad, But we have taken the liberty to make additional demands that your government is able to meet immediately. 1, establish a commission of inquiry. We require that you immediately establish an independent commission of inquiry to thoroughly investigate the systematic failure within the rainwater, an entity you are in charge of, Mr. Minister, that have led to the recurring and unacceptable water supply challenges in Gauteng. 2, the dismissal of the CEO of Rainwater. We demand the immediate dismissal of Sipho Musai, the CEO of Rainwater, due to his failure to fulfill the obligations and responsibilities entrusted to him. There is no need to give him his performance assessments, as the end of his contract draws near. Dry taps are indicative of his performance. Number 3, pressure premium Lesotho. As you know, Gauteng is still without a water infrastructure master plan. This plan would have encompassed not only water-related projects, but the development of infrastructure in the province, water being only crucial for life, being crucial for business, and without it, knowing and understanding that they will bring devastation in the people's lives in Gauteng. Premier Lesotho, much like Sipho Musai, has failed, and we demand that you write to him as a matter of urgency in this regard. The above measures are easily implementable, and moreover, something that falls within your scope. Should you choose to implement these demands, we demand a written reason as to why within 14 days this cannot be made. It is appalling that despite the repeated assurances and promises made by your government, the rainwater and like the people of Gauteng continue to suffer due to the inefficiency and inadequacy within an entity under your charge. We urge you to act decisively to rectify these critical water issues, as access to clean water is a basic human right that cannot be further compromised by the failings as of yet another underperforming state-owned entity. Furthermore, the failure to address these concerns reflects poorly on the leadership and management of the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, and we only serve to inform South Africans how much you care about their well-being and their basic human rights. We trust that you will immediately and meaningfully engage to resolve these matters in the best interest of the citizens of Gauteng. Yours sincerely, Solim Simanga, member of the legislature and leader of the opposition.
We want water. We want water. We want.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Nyati, the interim DA Youth Federal leader. South Africa is suffering from load shedding, unemployment, and no access to opportunities for young people. We have an opportunity to change this situation by registering to vote for a government that will not be a danger to society. I urge each and every person to go out and register to vote. You can register by going to check.da.org.za. check.da.org.za. Let us take back our power and give it to the people. Power to the registered.
The DA Premier candidate reading out the memorandum to the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Minister Senzo Mchunu. Basically, it's outlining the demands that the DA has. One of them is to fire the Rand Water CEO because he is simply failing and he's not doing the job that he is mandated to do. If the minister fails to do this, we will call for the resignation of the minister himself. As a resident of Johannesburg myself, I understand the importance of water and I understand the issues facing so many of the residents here in Gauteng, and that is a massive problem. What we need is for every single one of you at home to make sure that you are registered to vote. If you are registered to vote, you have the opportunity to rescue South Africa from a failing ANC government. The power is in our vote, the power is in our X, and we have the responsibility to ensure that we register to vote. And that on voting day we go out to vote. This coming weekend on the 18th and the 19th of November, we have the registration weekend. So that gives each and every one of you the opportunity to go out with your ID to make sure that you are registered to vote, you are correctly registered to vote, or you can just check your registration. We are almost at the point where we have the stage and the speeches that are coming up. We are still very much busy with the handover of the memorandum. As you can see, there are many angry, frustrated residents, not only DA members, but residents of Gauteng that are upset and need water. As you can hear, the crowd behind us is shouting, "We want water." It is not a luxury, it is a basic human right. We are not asking for too much. We are asking for a government that is held accountable, but that actually gets the job done. As we mentioned in the interviews earlier today, where the DA governs, we don't have such problems because the DA understands the importance of maintaining infrastructure, communicating with residents, and making sure that services are actually delivered. This is a DA difference, and we can bring this DA difference all across South Africa, but it is important that every single one of you is registered to vote. I'll give you that website again, check.da.org.za. This is the website where we will be able to help you. As you can see, the crowd is very frustrated. The crowd is angry that the minister doesn't have any answers for them. Yet we will still go home today to dry taps. We will go home to dry taps every single day in this province. It has become so normal for people in Gauteng not to have water. And I'm here to tell each and every one of you, it is not normal not to have water. Water is a human basic right. Why must we come out here in the streets and beg the minister to give us water? Why must we come out here in our numbers to demand water from the minister? We are not asking for a favor. Water is a human right, and we deserve access to clean drinking water. The economy is going down the drain because we don't have water, we don't have electricity, we don't have services. This country is literally falling apart because of a failed ANC government that does not care about the residents of Gauteng, that does not care about the people of South Africa. And I am here to tell you, enough is enough. We must all stand up and unite and rally behind a caring government, and that is only the DA. It is only the DA that has a track record in governance. It is only the DA that has a track record when it comes to service delivery. It is only the DA that cares about this country, and therefore it is up to all of us to come together so that we can rally behind the DA. I'll give you that website one more time. If you need help registering, go to check.da.org.za. That's check.da.org.za. When I come over here, let's talk about some of the problems that we are facing. What did you think about what the minister... Let me first say this. When the minister came out, he came out with a whole crew of VIP protection. He came out with an entire crew of SAPs. People in this country can't even go to a police station and get assistance, yet this minister has a nerve to come and address us with a whole crew of VIP security and police. We are not here to hurt you, Minister. We are here to demand answers from you. What's your take, Wena?
No, I agree with you 100%, Nazli. It's extremely sad that a public official, someone that was elected by the people, is too scared to address them without an army behind them. If the ANC feels that they failed, they should be able to come and address the people and deal with the consequences. Now, as a DA, we're peaceful. We're not here to hurt anyone. We're here to hand over a memorandum, a very well-planned out, detailed memorandum with our demands. But it's absolutely shocking that the minister would come out here with an army. It can only be described as an army to take a memorandum that's asking for a basic human right.
Yeah, not only is it disrespectful, but it makes me so angry because we are not here to ask you for any favors. We are not here to beg you to give services. We are here to say enough is enough. We want what we need water to live.
Yeah, no, and I'm loving the sounds around us. People are chanting for water and people are chanting for Soli because they are well aware in 2024 there's only one leader. There's only one political organization that is going to rescue this province. There's only one political organization that's going to rescue this country, and it's the Democratic Alliance.
Absolutely. I just want to pull you in because you are standing here. Can you tell us how has the water affected you?
It fixes us so many times because it's many times we don't have water. Sometimes children go to school without water. So we are here because we want water. It's many times suffering that we don't get no water. We want, and if they take water, they don't notice us. They take water hours to hours. We are tired.
Absolutely, I agree. I can hear you speaking, Sisi. Please tell us what you're saying.
Tommy, they didn't notice us. They take the water. They didn't even notice us. They take the water because they owned us. We are tired. We are tired, guys. We are tired. Enough is enough. Genoeg is genoeg. Sikhathele sifuna amanzi. Amanzi asebenza noma kukuphi mawuye toilet amanzi. Ufuna ukuphuza amanzi amanzi. Mawupheka amanzi, mawugeza amanzi.
I have to just cut that. There's a lot of angry people here that are demanding water. This is not a political issue. This is a human rights issue. And as we are hearing, we are having some movement on the stage. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
The lying minister, I'm telling them, the lying minister who stands, let me tell you something. When we started saying we're having an electricity problem, they said there's no electricity problem in South Africa. Where are we today? When we said you are bringing us e-tolls, they must against themselves and say, hey, we are getting rid of the e-tolls are still there today. When we were saying there's corruption and the state is kept up, they said there's no such. This was a minister who was even at the forefront of protecting the state. Right now we don't have a problem of water. I'm sitting here with over 60,000 signatures of people who have said we are sitting without water for months. And I'm ashamed that a peaceful march will have police to come and protect the minister instead of protecting the people who are seeking to get
get a simple thing as water. Nobody was even going to touch it. I want to touch you, the policeman, who left Oshanguve without water or have to bath from a bucket this morning. I want to touch that old man who's sitting there and saying, I've been sitting without water for months and to bring me a bucket of water into my house. I want to touch those that are saying the councillors whose house has been burnt down or who have been demolished because they're the ones who are facing the wrath of lack of water. Yet at the same time, that are moving around with bodyguards, yet the people who are at the forefront of the burning communities, the councillors, the activists, what is Guru saying about that? South Africans, it's either you stand up or this is going to be another ESCOM 2.0. It's either you stand up or this is going to be an ESCOM 2.0. I said to you, they said that there's no water, there's no electricity problem. He's failing to even tell us, or they spent 26 billion rand to fix the Lesotho Highlands project. 6 years late, we don't even know what the Kalagai project is. To Gauteng. So instead of building for people, we asked them, since the dawn of democracy, they cannot even build a single thing. To store water in South Africa. To purify water that they've built to make sure the people of Gauteng don't struggle. Because I'm saying he's a liar, and I will prove who is a liar. He said they have renewed the licensing, rainwater. But we are saying licensing rainwater hasn't been fixed and haven't been renewed for 18 years. So the same amount of water that they've been giving the people 18 years ago, still happening right now. And instead of them addressing the issue, it is not by mistake that we'll meet them at the polls. It will not be by mistake that they will not get that 50+1 even at a national level. It will not be by mistake that even KZN will not belong to them anymore. It will not be by mistake that it will not be by mistake that the Eastern Cape, the Northern Cape will not fall in their hands. Why? Because they've proven what all they care about is their pockets and their family's pockets and not about you. We are sitting with infrastructure. We are sitting with infrastructure that is falling apart. And I was saying to Minister Mkhunu, we are not saying municipalities don't have a role to play. No, that's not what we are saying. We are saying you as a minister, you're supposed to sit with all of them and say, what is the infrastructure play? How do we fund this plan? Because I can tell you, will not be able to fund its infrastructure maintenance plan. They will not be able to do that. Joburg and Mayor Puppet will not be able to turn it around and make sure that they're able to get infrastructure going there. They're not going to do that. Mohali, Eloring had already started under Tyrone Gray. Moner Tomare Escore, Rainwater reparted Arsai Colota. Escomer reparted Arsai Colota. Now he will let Muru Coloton happen. So if he wants to talk, he must come here and not run behind the police. Rona, we don't hide and we don't run behind the police because those are my brothers and sisters. Every time I am minister, we are not going to go to Gungun Tofu, on Nakuntu Yamabono Bono, by a Gurun Sabona, by not have a good budget and happen. Kauna Meti, since Batuna Hameti. Utuma generator, Batalangeruna, Bonaba Chumadi Kerese, Batumadi Landele. We will not fight the police. We will not fight them. And if you want to stand behind them, it's your duty, it's not ours. But Runa, we are saying the public will know the truth. the public will get to know what is the truth. And the lies that you've told here today will be exposed. And we will let the people know, instead of calling any problem, they hide behind the police. Democrats re utlwile bana ba borona ba bereki bana ba bona ba bla ke tlala bana ba rena re na motlakase ebile go le mo ba re bo ska tlhapo ska ba le metsi a re tlhape. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We are saying Habasar Arabel will take this matter to the highest court in the land. And by it, I lose it. Rona, we lose it. Rona, we don't lose our cases. But to buy and time the list is out, the minutes is out, Rimono Mori, the Kadas and Naleba employing the Juan. Keep on a man and Kamarkamul. We have won our cases, and this one, if we take it to the Constitutional Court, we will win it as well. So we say to the minister, you have 14 days. How's that in 14 days? We will go to the president, we'll go to the Constitutional Court, we'll go to the Human Rights Commission. But you can't we are not here to beg you. You are there elected to do the work of the people of South Africa. You are not selling your jacket in that office. But they get to all the Democrats. We have given them 14 days to respond to us. And we will continue to expose areas Havana Mates. A minister Kamaka, Arim Hauna Butata Bames, Limutu the Gamulomahai, Ar Maspala Iri, Ahuna Butata Bonara Bute. Hello Ramuna Butata, this was I lose. The signatures about Hello Ramuna Butata. Where are these signatures coming from? The people of Fixburg, they say you don't have a water problem. The people of Kempton Park, they say you don't have a problem. The people of Soshanguve, who have been without water for 60 days, they say you don't have a problem. The people of Heidelberg, they say you don't have a problem. They are saying, now we are imagining that you have a problem. I think the people must stand up and show this government that we are serious about the quality of life. Democrats, as we disperse, Samayang Liu Bulalaba to go and speak to the thousands and the millions of our residents and say they have a choice. The choice that they have is to continue with some of the same and see this country burning to the ground. Where Banababu Runate Babalaiwa give it an expiry day. Where Banababu Runate Babalaki Nyaupe, where Banababu Runate Basatolini Seveti, murder and crime will be out of hand. And education will be something sensible. Health will be a problem. That will be choice number one. Or they will have choice number two. Choice number two is to register and vote out Makhodu and put a government in place that will make sure that we deliver to the people. Hala, latie, halala. Hala, latie, halala. Pambili, Gauteng, Pambili. Pambili, Pambili.
We want water. 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 We want water.
Get help registering to vote online. Visit check.da.org.za. All you need is your ID. Enter your personal details and submit. Check your cell phone for your unique link and click. If you need to register, you will be directed to the IEC's website. Select Register to vote now. Enter your personal details. Upload a photo of your green barcoded ID or your smart ID card by selecting Browse to find the photo. You will receive a message confirming your voter registration within 24 hours. Be part of the mission to rescue South Africa in election 2024. But if you are voting for the first time or if you've moved since you last voted, you need to register correctly to vote in 2024. Remember, you can only vote at the voting station at which you are registered. Take up your power and skip the queue. Visit check.da.org.za and get help with your voter registration.
Thanks for watching. All across our beautiful country, people are joining forces to elect the new government that can rescue South Africa, help our rescue mission, and register to vote. Get help registering online now at check.da.org.za. Let's rescue South Africa.